Fly, Eagles, fly. They push their way to another
Lombardi. We thought we were going to be on the same page there, but we were pretty close.
Well, they clearly were on the same page because they just won another Super Bowl with all the distractions they had all year. New running back, Saquon Barkley goes out.
So we fire Sirianni for acting like crazy maniac on the sideline yelling at fans.
I was completely wrong all year. They went against all the odds. I feel like this is the day I found out Santa Claus was fake. Right here.
Fly, Eagles, fly. Congratulations. Welcome to Dudes on Dudes. I'm Rob Gronkowski.
And I'm Julian Edelman, and this is the show where your favorite dudes get to talk about their favorite dudes.
And today we're cracking open the hotline to answer your voicemails. And let me tell you personally, this is my favorite episode.
Love them. We get to talking about our favorite Pats jerseys of all time.
I still have my jersey that I wore on Thursday Night Football hung up in my house because I loved it that much.
What countries are in Asia?
And what countries we want to visit in Asia. Is Asian like the same as Chinese food?
And building the perfect slot receiver.
AKA Julian Edelman.
Nah.
It's as easy as that. Hey, Jules, just imagine that type of player right there. Oh, that's a 99 rating on Madden, if you ask me.
And then we wrap it up with the chillest dude of the week presented by Coors Light.
That number to leave a voicemail is 561-203-5789. Now let's get into it. Dudes on Dudes is a production of iHeartRadio.
What's going on, Rob? Where you at?
Hey, Jules, how you doing, man? I'm just in Florida right now, relaxing, taking in the sun, laying by the pool, just chilling out, man. I just went absolutely ham. I was talking to my brother actually yesterday, and I told him, hey, I might as well go back to football because I'm grinding harder than I ever grinded before. And I'm not even playing football. Yeah. So, I might as well go back because playing ball would be easier than what I've been doing over the last 6 months. But I appreciate, all the people in my life. I appreciate all my jobs. I'm definitely thankful for every job that I had throughout the season. I would just say the travel was really tough. That's where the grind is. So I'm just chilling right now, getting back into a routine, getting all my workouts. But just overall, I'm very thankful for the last 6 months. Football season was amazing. It was entertaining. All the jobs that I had were entertaining, from going on the Kay Adams show to, doing the Fox pregame kickoff show, going on your show before my show on the Fox kickoff show. So just going out all those shows was amazing. Hell of shows all over the place. So I'm doing good, though. Very thankful for it all.
Wait up. People got to realize, this Super Bowl, it's busy. It's a busy time of the year for us, especially if you're a retired athlete and you're in the media game. Rob had so many obligations. I was busy. I had obligations and working events that I had to go to, and I did a lot. And Rob did twice of it. We had when we did that shoot for the start of the kickoff show with Lady Gaga and the responders, we woke up at 3:00. We woke up at 2:30 to do that. And then we did that from 3:15 to 4:30, and then Rob had 2 other shows to do. I had a break until my media day, but Rob bounced back to back 2 fucking freaking appearances, which it was a lot. I was feeling for you, big dog. Rob, when any of us had any free time, we all just went to our room and did nothing. Rob's getting NAD treatment, IVs. It's we've come a far way, far from the days where, at the Super Bowl, we'd be partying our faces off.
Well, put it this way, Jules. I didn't even go out one night. I actually went to a FanDuel party Friday night, but I went from 9:30 to 10:30 only. I did the red carpet, and then I watched Megan Thee Stallion go on from 9:30 to 10, and watch her shake her booty all over the place, which was fun to see. Her perform her big time songs and get the crowd going. And that was the only night I technically went out, and it was only till 10:30 p.m. I had 3 drinks throughout the whole entire time I was there on the 5 nights I was in New Orleans, which is pretty impressive. Last time I was there for the Super Bowl in 2000, 13 or whenever it was. I probably had 3 drinks in 3 minutes one of the nights that I was there. So I'm proud of myself. We're growing up a little bit, Jules, and I like it though. We're more responsible. And that Lady Gaga shoot, it was just so sentimental and powerful, and it was just bringing America together on the biggest day in sports, which was just really cool as well. It was well worth waking up at 2 a.m., even though I went to bed at 11 p.m. and woke up at 1 because I was nervous. I was going to oversleep my alarm. And then I did that shoot, which we were like delirious. We were just cracking up, making silly jokes with all the police officers there and first responders. Which was really cool to see all them. And it's just so cool to see their personalities as well, because they were laughing at whatever we were saying. So I really like them, because when people laugh at our jokes, I really, really tend to like them more. And the National Guard, they were cool as heck with those machine guns, AK-47s just going across their chest. And then I went on Good Morning America to promote the Kick of Destiny #3 at 7 a.m. And then I had my first feature ever with Travis Kelce.
And you were nervous about it. And you killed it.
I was nervous. I appreciate that, man. And what was so cool.
And then you had an on-field interview.
Good. Yes, and then I had an on-field interview, my first ever, with Dallas Goedert. That was really cool. But Dallas Goedert and Travis Kelce, I want to give a shout-out to both of them, because that feature was my first with Travis Kelce, and that on-field interview that was live was my first with Dallas Goedert. And I appreciate them, because they made me feel comfortable when they walked into the interviews. Like, thank you guys. Like, they were loose. They made me feel loose, because I was nervous. It's the first time I've ever done that. So those guys are super cool. I was cheering for them both, and they both had great seasons, and I respect them both as players as well.
Yeah, that was a crazy game. That was a crazy game. It's. I feel bad for the Chiefs because they didn't put their best game out there. And anytime you go into the last game of the year and you play that was like their worst game, and you got to tip your cap to Philadelphia, because they beat the shit out of them all game. But like, they didn't put their best product out there. They didn't pick up the protections. They got manhandled by the defensive line. Vic Fangio, you got to shout out Coach Vic. First Super Bowl. He's been coaching in the league, I believe, since 1986. I mean, I actually got to ride back with him after the Super Bowl. So we did the post game show, right?
Yeah, how did that happen, Jules? Yeah, I did my post game show, which was really quick. I had about one segment, and then I saw that you guys came on after us, and you were on for how long?
We were on for like an hour, and it was awesome. Cool. We got to interview Saquon, who just a humble dude. I've had relationships with him over the years. He's no one better to win a Super Bowl than Saquon. We talked to A.J. Brown, and it was awesome to get to catch up with him. We had a cool story. I left him a note in his Super Bowl locker.
What inspired you to leave him a note at his locker?
Well, Vrabel, when we were practicing at the Greenbrier against Tennessee in A.J. Brown's rookie year, I think Vrabel, or my boy B. Bell, who I played with at Kent State, who was a strength coach, they introduced us and wanted me to go talk to him. He's a young gun talent he was just like a phenom. You know what I mean? They just, I was at the pinnacle of my career at that time. And so we just went and talked, and we talked after that, and he still remembered what we were talking about. And I kind of just gave him a reminder that it's a long ass game, stay in it. And I'm so proud of where he's gotten to. Like, that was his rookie year, and to see that he's a top 3 receiver in the National Football League now, and he's been doing it at a high level for a consistent amount of time. A lot of noise, but always balling. Like, I was just so proud of him because, he was vocal. He wanted to win. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, did it bring back any memories for you when we were doing all that stuff?
Yeah, when I was reminiscing with you in the green room and just being on the field for the sidelines, and then also being on the field and seeing all the confetti just come down everywhere, it definitely brought back those good memories, especially from Super Bowl 49. That was 10 years ago when we beat the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, I just remember that confetti to a T because that was the first Super Bowl that we won. And I believe the coolest Super Bowl that we won, too, because it was the first one. It was such a good game. And we beat the Seattle Seahawks with the best defense in the league and stopped them from going back to back. But the coolest moment, I would say, for me at the Super Bowl game this year was before the game even started. Yeah, I got to interview Dallas Goedert for my first live interview ever. But Nick Sirianni was walking around on the field as well about 2-3 hours before the game, and I was just chilling. And he came up to me, and we just started chit chatting for about 5 minutes. And I learned something cool about him, that he's from the same hometown that I'm from. Well, the same city that I'm from, and that's Buffalo. He grew up in Jamestown, which is about an hour bus ride that we used to take up to go play Jamestown High School. Even though he didn't go to Jamestown High School, he's still from the town of Jamestown. And that's when I knew. We had a great conversation about just Buffalo as well. But that's when I knew, Jules, that the Philadelphia Eagles were going to win that game, when I found out that Nick Sirianni was from Buffalo, New York.
It all makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I loved him, man. Cool dude. Cool dude, man. Great dude to have a conversation with as well. Brought a lot of passion and energy, and
he's got a lot of heat. I've given him a lot of heat. I've given him a lot of.
Why'd you do that?
Well, it's just a different way of what I'm a product of. You know, like the way he coaches and his style of coaching, which, you know, there's multiple ways to the top. It's just, you know, some of the things which I'm sure he would agree with me that he regrets doing, like some of the antics he does, like, you know, now that you won a Super Bowl, you got to act like you've been there. You know what I mean? And he's done that, and he's gone out, and you got to tip your cap to him and his staff, Howie Roseman, he's going to have another tough job ahead of him. Both the coordinators gone.
Well, what's cool about Nick's
Vic staying, but Kellen Moore,
it was, you know,
so like, but I gotta say, man, I'm really impressed with his ability to ignore the noise, because there was a lot of noise around this team this year, and I thought it was gonna take them down, but they fucking proved me wrong. They proved me wrong. They said, "Fuck that. We're noisy. That's just how we are. We're from we got a coach from Buffalo."
That's right. But they ignored the noise big time. But also Nick Sirianni, I feel like he kind of just grew up just out of nowhere in the middle of the season. Yeah, he was doing all his antics, but then like after they were 2-2 and all the antics happened, all of a sudden, boom, he was just on point from there, and the antics kind of stopped. And like
when he shaved his head.
Yeah. I mean, looked pretty good with a shaved head, but but it was just like all focus on football. Stop with the antics. Stop with the extra doses of everything going on. Same with AJ Brown, and then everyone just came together as a team. It's like they needed that to all happen. They came together as a team, and then from there on out, every single player, from the coaches, you know, to the top of the organization, everyone was acting unselfish, and that's why they won the Super Bowl this year. That's why they're champions, because you got to be an unselfish football team in order to be champions, especially A.J. Brown. I mean, that guy's an all-pro wide receiver, and he was getting targets like he was the third, fourth guy on the team, just because of the system that they have with Saquon Barkley running the ball so much and how successful they were with that. But
threw like 24 times.
Blocking down the field for Saquon throughout the whole playoffs, so Saquon can just burst out those 50-plus yard runs. That's an unselfish football team. That's an unselfish player, and that's why they're champions. You got to be unselfish in order to be Super Bowl champs.
We'd be remiss not to talk about the exciting whites.
The exciting whites.
It was really an exciting white this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were on point.
Blankenship, he did have a couple. I saw Blankenship had a couple. He had a couple stuffers. He hit him hard.
He was solid. I mean, he didn't let up like any big time plays.
They tackled well. Like they did their job. They
tackled really well, dude.
That was the game plan.
That team
rush for
knew how to tackle. Mm-hmm.
Just that was a. We haven't seen a butt whooping like that since Denver. And you know what I mean? The Denver Super Bowl in New York against Seattle.
I mean, a little bit.
And you guys,
when I was in Tampa, I'm telling you, that was the same exact blueprint that we had to beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl in Tampa. I mean, we rushed four, but you got to have the personnel in order to rush four. I mean, we had Ndamukong Suh, Vita Vea, we had um, Shaq um, as well coming off the edge, and then we had JPP coming off the other edge as well. I mean, that's a dominant four right there that is very hard to defend and block. And they were getting after Patrick Mahomes. If you can get after Patrick Mahomes, he gets frustrated in that pocket. If he feels the pressure.
Yeah.
It's not like Tom.
He didn't play his best game.
Tom knows how to handle that pressure, Jules. He knows how to,
he just gets the ball out quick.
Locate it wherever the help needs to come from, and he gets the ball out quick, and he knows how to do that to a T.
But Brady struggled against that Spags defense in 07. I mean, Spags gives quarterbacks. I mean, he didn't play like where they didn't cross the 50 bad or anything, but it was tough. Where do you think the Chiefs go from here?
They're kind of in a tight salary cap situation right now. I saw earlier today that like 5 guys on their team are going to be counting against their cap about 75 million. I think they take up like around 70% of the cap just through 5 guys, which is absurd. So they're going to probably have to restructure some contracts, possibly cut a guy or two, hopefully get some good draft picks that can come in right away and make an impact.
Veach will get them something. Hopefully, they gotta. Brett Veach, they address problems pretty quickly. Like as soon as they lost to you guys, that Buccaneers team, they revamped that freaking offensive line in 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? They revamped it in 1 year. Boom, gone.
But that's already a revamped offensive line. I mean, I
know, but I'm just saying
Eagles
for them.
Defensive line was so dominant. And I was saying that for the whole 2 weeks going into the Super Bowl game. I said, if the Philadelphia Eagles want to win this game, they got to put pressure on Patrick Mahomes in the pocket and make him feel uncomfortable. And that's what they did. That's how you beat them. I don't know how.
I think that's how you beat any team, really.
It is. It is.
I mean, everyone says that. I'm like, well, shit, if you get pressure in the middle of the pocket on him and Lamar and in Tom Brady and – then they all hate it.
It sounds a lot easier than it is to get done. I can tell you that.
Now, did you eat anything good in New Orleans?
Yeah,
did you have any of the gumbo?
Yeah, I had some gumbo. It just reminded me a lot about Forrest Gump when I was there reading these menus. First, I couldn't read the menu. Like there was like 100 different spices on each entree, and I'm like, well, what the heck is this? Like. And they're like, oh, there's like 50 spices on each entree that I had no clue what they were. So I just saw the word steak in one of the entrees. So I just ordered that. And I was like, that's what I'm going to get, that one right there. And I pointed to the menu. And it was difficult. I mean, but what was
really... gator? I ate some gator.
I ate fried gator too. Tastes like chicken.
Tastes like chicken.
I only had a couple pieces because it's still a little weird. But it was so cool about New Orleans. I'd never really been there like that because I usually go there and play and go to the stadium and then leave. But what was so cool is just the history there, like being on Bourbon Street, just seeing, all the bars that were built in 1905 and they're still standing like that. The history was definitely special down in New Orleans, which I appreciated.
Yeah. I went on a huge, research spree when I was staying at my hotel because we were on the Mississippi River that 4 seasons. So I was like, man, I kept on seeing these big ass tankers drive by. I'm like, what's up with this Mississippi River? And then lo and behold, I fucking go down. I get a damn history lesson on the goddamn Louisiana Purchase, and then I'm sitting here reading that this Mississippi River goes up to goddamn Dakotas, and it's one of our goddamn ways to get all our trade up the damn thing. So. Louisiana Purchase, 1803, $15 million. What a steal. Who's that?
Wasn't a steal back then. They needed that $15 million, Jules.
Bro, that goes from Louisiana all the way up to the Dakotas. All the way to the Dakotas. That's Canada.
At that time,
it's not like that we're just that little ass. That's a big ass purchase. Who was the coolest person you met?
Oh, man. It was actually on the sidelines in the pregame show. I was just chilling there watching it all. Then it was kind of like 10 minutes before the national anthem, and this big guy with a hoodie up comes walking over to say, "What up, Strahan?" But I was kind of like in front of Strahan. And so he just had to like walk through me. So he just said, "What up" to me real quick, just a quick handshake. And I was like, I was just thinking in my mind, like, who is that guy? Like, I know him, but like, I don't know him. And then he walked away after he said, "What up to Strahan?" And I asked our security guy at Fox, I was like, who was that guy? He's like, "That's Master P." I was like, no way. I was like, nah, nah, nah. I was like, that's Master P, baby. I grew up listening to Master P, and just freaking, it was awesome, dude. I actually got pumped up. I kind of got some chills when
Master Pika Hoop. He's big,
I heard
isn't he?
it was him. Yeah, massive, dude. He was like 6'5", like probably like
Yeah.
280. Massive, man. It looked like he could play linebacker.
He said he tried to play in basketball, pro basketball.
Mhm.
He almost made it. I think he played in like the G League or something. I don't know. I used to
Yeah.
love Master P.
Oh, I still love him.
Yeah.
So that was the coolest dude that I met while I was, in New Orleans. How about you, Jules? Who's the coolest person that you met?
The first time I went to Chiefs practice, and I got to meet Andy Reid, and that was cool because I never really met him. Well, I mean, we play against each other, but you never really get to meet someone. It was our first time really getting to be in an area. It was cool to meet him. It was fun. That's when I started missing it, is when you get to see the practice. You're at the college. I think they're at Tulane. You go to the college field, nice grass, fast tempo practice. Seemed pretty clean. But it was just cool to get to meet Andy. We've competed against each other for so many years in so many different facets, and I've respected the hell out of him. So it was great to meet him. Brett Veach was cool. Who is the guy? Who's the comedian that my guy? I'm blanking on his name. That is Dr. Phil. Adam Ray. I had a cool conversation. I went to that Burt Kreischer show with Nikki and Kill Tony, Nikki Glazer, Kill Tony, Tony Klitschko.
How was that show?
Oh my God!
Anything like the roast, those guys or better?
Crazier. Crazier.
I wish I went.
Those guys were hilarious. Shane Gillis was where I didn't get to catch his. Tyreek Hill did a bit with
I saw him with his shirt off on stage.
Yeah.
What did he do?
He went up with Adam Ray, who's dressed like Dr. Phil, and like he just asked him questions, and it was funny. Tyreek Hill looked like he reminded me of like a heel wrestler. He was like playing up to the character hella good. He was taking his shirt off and getting at the crowd. And so I went up to him after the show. I'm like, "Tyreek, you need to do fucking WWE or something, dog. Because A, he could probably do like 600 backflips off the top ropes and do some athletic shit. And B, he was so good with the crowd. I thought it was awesome. It was fun. Got to meet him afterwards. He was talking about our podcast.
That's cool,
he wants
man.
to come on Tyreek. Tyreek's like, I want to come on. I was like, dude, no problem.
Dudes on dudes. We need another dude so we can interview the dude. We might have to go that way sooner than later, Jules.
The Super Bowl, though, it was a fun event. I enjoyed New Orleans. I thought it was great. Like, if I wasn't having to drive around, that would have been the perfect place. If I could just walk to somewhere, you know what I mean? If we could, like, for the fans and stuff, and like for everything was super close for that standpoint. It's a great Super Bowl city.
Yeah, definitely a shout out to the city of New Orleans. They did such a good job hosting Super Bowl 59. It was well organized. Traffic kind of flew as well.
Traffic was tough.
It flowed. I thought it flowed for how many people were there. Yeah. I thought it flowed. And
we got caught behind a damn Mardi Gras fucking parade one a day, or I don't know. We just got up.
How many people were there? I think it was pretty well done. The National Guard, all the police officers, thank you guys for everything that you do to keep, the whole entire city safe throughout the whole week. No doubt about that. Felt totally safe there as well, which was really cool. It was a good, relaxing feeling to know that. And I want to give a huge shout out to the whole entire Fox team as well, Jules, from the executives to the cameramen, to the directors, to the producers. I mean, to put that pregame show together, the halftime show, the postgame show, a 5-hour pregame show. Just thank you to everyone that was involved to make it happen.
Wardrobe,
We can go
ladies,
wardrobe,
hair,
makeup, hair, everyone. Without you guys, we would have never been able to shine like the way that we shined, as a whole out there on the pregame show and halftime show and postgame show. So appreciate everyone at Fox for what you guys do. It's a team effort, and it's definitely felt, what type of impact you guys all make. So thank you.
Rob, what was it like playing catch on Bourbon Street?
That was really cool. It was a segment I was surprised, to do, because I didn't really know that Tom was coming to our set, for the pregame show. I mean, he's got a busy schedule. He's got to study up on the teams. He's about to commentate for about 3-4 hours the Super Bowl game. And let me tell you, Tom knocked it out of the park.
He did.
Tom killed it for all Super Bowls. He destroyed it. I'm proud of him, man. From where he was week 1 all the way to the Super Bowl, man. I mean, he's an inspiration, and he shows that if you put the work in, you're going to get better and you're going to get the job done. So I appreciate you, Tom, man. You're proof, to a lot of people why you are the role model that you are, man, to the young fellows out there. You put the work in and it shows.
Still the old fellows, too.
Definitely. Old fellows as well, 100%. But
he's my role model. I'm old. 38.
And then we're on Bourbon Street. We're doing the show, and they're like, Rob, go up on that rooftop. Tom's going to be on that rooftop, and he's going to throw you a pass. I was like, no way. I mean, whenever you can catch a pass from Tom Brady, even though, even when retired, you're going to catch that pass from Tom Brady. I mean, we did it at the NFC Championship game. I know you were jealous that you weren't the one receiving the pass, Jules, and you had to cover me, but I got to receive it. And if I was covering you, I would have probably tried to go for the interception.
Rob,
I just want that feel again, like we're playing.
I was the number one guy that I caught most of his balls, the most to catch his balls.
Yeah.
So
you did.
You could have them.
I'm trying to catch up.
I wish if I could get those yards, maybe.
I'm trying to catch up in that number of catches, but it was just cool,
so, right?
The crowd, he threw it across to me.
I don't know.
He threw it across. There was actually some wires in the way as well, and
Rob,
which was the defense. And he threw it over the wires, made the catch. The crowd went crazy, and I did the first ever Bourbon Street Gronk spike, and boom, spiked it from up top on the, where I was on the rooftop. The ball bounced about 25 feet up in the air, crowd going crazy, and Gronk spikes all over the place. And then people start Gronk spiking their shots because they were just so impressed.
They start throwing beads at you, spiking beads.
No beads.
No beads.
That was the disappointment, that I got no beads thrown at me. Mm-hmm.
I think they were probably told not to throw beads at you.
I wanted to, earn the beads.
I know you like beads.
In order to earn the beads, you gotta flex and show some muscles, and I didn't do that at all. I had a suit on, so I didn't deserve any beads, Jules.
You didn't earn the beads.
I didn't earn them. Mm-mm.
All right, guys. So as you can see, we're not both in the house right now. We're taking a little time off.
We're exhausted.
Rob just had crazy schedule. I got crazy schedule. And we're going to do, what are we going to do?
We're going to rest and recover, and we're going to let our brain recalibrate so we can come back even sharper, more on point for Dudes on Dudes when we start back up again. And I also want to thank our fans and listeners out there for sticking with us all year long. It was my first podcast ever. Couldn't have seen it going, any better than the way it went the whole entire year. So I appreciate our whole entire Nut House team crew, all our producers, directors that we have, everyone from all over the place in the Nut House. Thank you guys for everyone that makes this show possible, and especially to our listeners and fans out there. We'll be back stronger than ever. We got it down now. We're not rookies no more when we come back, Jules, so we better be on point.
Yeah, we'll be on point, and we'll tap in with you guys here and there. We're still trying to figure out scheduling, how we're going to do this show, continue this show, when we're going to do the show, how we're going to do the show. I think I said that like 4 times. And then we'll have some content. We got some content. So we'll still keep feeding the beast. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. And I think we got some voicemail recordings. Should we dip into that?
Oh, I love voicemails. Let's go. Let's dip into it. Let's go.
You guys have been blowing up the hotline, and it's been so fun to dive into these calls. We love hearing you guys. And remember, that hotline number is 561-203-5789. Call it. We love hearing it. Let's go.
Julian, Gronk. This is Matt from Stoneham. Just wanted to get a quick power rank from you guys, all-time Patriots jerseys, between the classic Pat Patriot, the Bledsoe era, the Dynasty jerseys, and the current Color Rush style jersey. Let me know, dudes. Bye.
Easy.
Well, let me tell you, I love the Color Rush jerseys when we were wearing them, I think, on Thursday Night Football. Remember that year when everyone had to wear the Color Rush jersey?
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite jerseys that we ever wore. Maybe you like the throwbacks better. I'm not sure, Jules, but the Color Rush, it was like a grayish, dark blue type of jersey color, and that was my favorite by far. I still have my jersey that I wore on Thursday Night Football hung up in my house because I loved it that much.
I like the Pat the Patriot jersey, the one that we wore in 2009. We had the white helmets before they changed the rule where you couldn't have multiple helmets. And we played Tennessee in that uniform. The Titans, I believe we beat them 44-0 or something. Tom had 6 touchdowns in the first half.
Waxed them.
And it was October 14th, and it was like a huge snowstorm. It didn't snow anywhere but in Foxborough. All around New England, no, it was all rain. There was no forecast for snow, and there was hella snow. And we were wearing those old Pat the Patriot unis. I like those. I like the red.
I really like those ones too. So let's go with the first jersey is Pat the Patriot.
Yeah.
You know, that's the classic. And then I'll go with the Color Rush is number 2. All right.
And then the Bledsoes.
The Bledsoe era was pretty legit.
Like
those were nice throwbacks, man.
Yeah, because it's like super 90s-y, like loud and shit.
Those were cool, man. So those are number 3.
Yeah.
And then the Dynasty jerseys, that's kind of like the basic ones, like right there behind you.
Yeah.
Like that right there. Yeah.
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 And those 4.
Yeah, that's
kind
number
of
4.
Boring, but
yeah, they are boring, but they were the Dynasty jerseys.
Yeah.
But they're just number 4 still.
Kind of boring.
All right. Next question.
What's going on, guys? This is Pedro. I'm a Texan from Houston Texans. What I want to know from you guys is, do you guys get frustrated with today's level of talent in the NFL? Sitting at home watching the games as a fan now, the level of talent has gone a little bit lower than it has been in a couple of years.
I don't think the talent's lower. I just think the play is different.
Exactly. I mean, you got guys like Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, just absolutely balling out on the football field. Like never seen before.
Like there's a bunch. Kittle, the DNs are all fucking monsters. Myles Garrett. Look at Verse from this little new guy, Verse with the Rams that had a crazy good year. I think the league's as athletic as
Jalen Carter at the defensive tackle position.
The quarterback play. I mean, I think the complexity of offense is different.
And the style of play is totally different as well.
It's going more college-y.
I
think it's more college-y.
Like West Coast offenses that are throwing the ball all the time. I mean, the talent's there. It's just, how they incorporate the way that they're going to play, the formations that they're, now lining up in, just how many times they're throwing the ball compared to running the ball. Just the whole entire style of play is different. So it kind of aligns differently with the type of talent that's out there.
But then you look at like the teams that are doing it right. But I think this ultimately comes down to like how players aren't being developed in college. So the NFL pro style coaches are having to go to the college scheme because they're not able to come in. You know what I mean? Like like a lot of these RPO stuff that there's no complexity to that. That's like really, they're hard to defend.
Well, with that being said, good thing we got Chapel Bill. He's going to develop all the players out there in college now at UNC, and then they're going to be NFL ready, Jules.
All right, let's see.
Chapel Bill, check it out.
Let's see Chapel Bill.
Chapel Bill, let's see what
Chapel
you got.
Bill.
Can you develop these
Chapel
players so they're NFL ready? Let's go. Chapel Bill.
Chapel Bill.
At UNC.
He's having so much fun out there.
North Carolina.
He's having so much fun. I see him everywhere.
Chapel Bill.
Hey, someone out there make us a Chapel Bill beat song. Like on SoundCloud or something so we can rap to it or make a song. Chapel Bill.
Chapel Bill. Look at me. I took a pill. I
ran the
hills because I had so much juice. I wanted to get loose like a silly goose. Oh, yeah. Chapel Bill. The Chapel Bill.
Hey, everyone. Julian Edelman here. There's no better time to enjoy live events. I've had my eyes on NFL playoff tickets, and there's always Bruins and Celtics games for when you're itching to get out of the house and catch some action. That's why I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's show, SeatGeek. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. They've got more than 70,000 events listed, from concerts and sports to festivals and more. You name it, they've got it. The best part? SeatGeek has your back. Every ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know you're getting a good deal. Just look at the green dots. Green means good and red means bad. And every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee, so you're set. And you know I came through for you guys. You can use Dudes10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code DUDES10. Make sure to click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thank you, SeatGeek. I'll see you out there.
Hey, you guys are awesome. My name's Alex. I'm from Portland, Oregon. Hey, we don't have a NFL team here, obviously, so I didn't know what you guys thought. Do I need to find an alliance somewhere for the Seahawks or the 49ers, or can I just hop favorite teams every year? My friends like to make fun of me, so I would love to hear you guys' opinion. Thank you.
I think you're in uncharted territory. So you can go either two ways with this. You could either go Seattle or San Francisco because Oregon's touching that NorCal border. So, like, you know, I think you got to go that route, or you could just pick any team you want.
Yeah.
But you got to stick with one. You can't be flip-flopping.
I mean, but he's in a territory where he can flip-flop all over the place and really not get called out for it. So that's a situation. If you can play that right every year, year in and year out, well, then, you know, kudos to you for being able to do that. But if you don't have that skills to flip-flop and convince people every year why you're a fan of that team, well, then you got to just pick one team and then stick with them. And I feel like you really don't have those skills. That's why you're asking us that question, what team you should pick. So I would go with the Seahawks because
that's like the Northwest.
Yeah.
Upper Northwest. Pacific Northwest.
Yeah,
that's what they call it.
I just feel like Oregon is just
if you can
attached to
if you
Washington.
go to your beaches, if you can go to your beach and you're on the West Coast, and if you like look out to the ocean and you see a killer whale, it has to be Seattle.
Yeah, but now
there's hella killer whales in the Pacific Northwest.
But thinking about it, he should be.
I think isn't that where Free Willy took place?
That's a good point, Jules. Oh, I love Free Willy. I watched that movie like 20 times.
Jesse.
But if he's having a debate, what team he should be a fan of, what about the BC Lions?
British Columbia Lions, go Canada on them.
Come on, man.
And then you could just pick any NFL team that gets hot. So you
Switch
say, hey, I'm a BC Lions fan.
Exactly.
But you know, this year, my best fantasy guy, and then you go with the best team.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Or you could just go out to your ocean. If you see killer whale, you're a Seattle fan.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Gronk and Jules. Just wanted to say thank you for your show because
you're welcome.
You have no idea how much it has gotten me through.
Hell yeah.
Newly divorced.
Julian single.
And your show really got me through a lot of things. So thank you. And I guess my question to you would be, what's your favorite Asian food and what countries in Asia would you like to visit?
Ooh,
Thanks again, y'all.
I love this question. Favorite Asian food? That's very tough.
Is Asian like the same as Chinese food?
So Asian is is either Japanese, Chinese. It's the Asian continent. I mean, technically India could be thrown in there too because they're technically Asian. So like Vietnam, you go to the South Asia, you get like Malaysia, Philippines are Asians. I am partially. I grew up in the Bay Area, so I love Chinese food. I love Chinese food, American Chinese food, whatever they want to call it. We love pot stickers, and I love Japanese food. I love ramen. I love sushi. I love gyoza. But Chinese food, like where I grew up in the Bay, we had flour drum and suhong. Those were like my favorite. I love that. And I love Thai food too, because then they throw a little of that basil in there, and I like their curry better than I like Indian curry. Like but even Japanese also has curry. But I when I'm in the Japanese, I keep it to the steak, or the ramen, or the gyoza, or sushi.
I love all type of curries, no doubt about that. Same with sushi. I was never really a sushi guy growing up. I thought it was
Steph Curry.
Really weird, like sushi, like raw fish. I was not a big fan until I got into the NFL, and then a couple of my teammates introduced me to sushi, and then I fell in love with it my first time I had it, and they had to trick me in order to get me to eat the sushi as well. And then once I did, I was like, woo, head over heels for it. But if orange chicken counts, does that count as Asian food, Julian? Orange chicken?
I mean,
maybe it's like an outskirt of Asian food.
I think it is, but I don't know. I don't want to sound wrong and say it is, but
if orange chicken counts as Asian food, I mean, I loved your history lesson and on all the, continents and countries
on the continent
that have Asian food. That was really cool to hear. But if orange chicken counts, well, then mine's orange chicken by far. It's one of my favorite dishes out there.
It's a great dish. Also, I'm dying to go to Asia. I have never been to Asia. I want to go to Japan. I want to go to South Korea. I want to go to Seoul. I want to go to I would love to go to China. There's some crazy I know it's kind of like there's a little shit going right now, but I think China's fascinating. I want to see the wall. I want to see all like those crazy cities. I want to go to Thailand. I want to go to all Asia. I think I'm Hong Kong. That looks like a fucking awesome city.
I want to go to a blue zone in Japan, and a blue zone is where the people live like all over 100 years old, and it's like known for a very healthy environment. I just want to pick up their skills and traits and what they do and what type of lifestyle they live and why they live for so long as well. So Japan, a blue zone in Japan would be really cool to visit as well.
We should go somewhere in Japan, like in the old area where like they still like train samurais and it's not like really civilized or something. There's probably like some old, and just like live their way. I want to do like what they did in like Kickboxer, or what was it? Was it Kickboxer where he went and lived with? Now I don't know if that was Japan, but I want to go to Japan.
I want to
do
go to
that
Japan
and like
too.
study with like the old country, kind of like what's the Tom Cruise movie? Last Samurai. I want to go do that.
Seen it.
I want to be the
I
Last
gotta watch
Samurai.
it now. Mandarin chicken. I love that as well too. I think that's Asian food. Mandarin chicken. Whew.
Hey, dude.
Stuff's good.
Question for you. I'm wondering if you would ever do a Dudes on Dudes live like you did with Games with Names. I think that would be fun. Thanks. Bye.
But that's an excellent idea. It would be hilarious. It would be excellent for all our fans to come see us live. So that's one of the best ideas I've heard in a while. We definitely do need a Dudes on Dudes live.
We do.
With some fans, because I feel like that brings the best out of us too when we have a crowd. The energy the fans bring to the table as well. When we did that Games with Names, where was that at? What theater again in Boston? The Wilbur Theater in Boston. Like, it brought a whole new perspective to podcasting, and it just felt right. It felt real. The crowd that was there brought the energy, clapping, cheering for us, excited whenever a new player came out. So that's a great idea. We have to go live eventually, Julian.
Yeah, we got it. Let's do it. I'm in.
I like that.
What's up, guys? Love the podcast. This is Mike from the great state of North Carolina. I got a question for Jules. Jules, you, Wes, and Danny combine the best attributes of the three of you to make me a super beast mode slot receiver, little white guy. You, Danny, Wes, let me know the best attributes of each one that you wish you could combine together to make a superhuman. Thanks, man.
Easy. Danny's hands.
This is going to be good.
Wes's release and my explosive ball in hands ability.
Mm-hmm. That's a deadly duo or deadly.
Like
deadly
my explosiveness
player.
and ball in hands.
That's a deadly player right there.
Because Dola had insane hands. Dola has some of the best hands.
He did, and he was clutch too in the playoffs.
And then Wes's releases, like remember his little release game? He had such short little steps where a guy could be a yard off of him. And he could get like 4 steps in front of him and make him flip his hips, and he was really good at that.
Yeah, you could never play man coverage press against him because he would just get right around the guy and just make him look silly. Wes was so good at
the
that.
release,
his explosiveness, just to get around the guy on that release was just phenomenal. And then you add those skill sets, and then how about you put that skill set in my body, Jules? Just imagine that type of player right there. Oh, that's a 99 rating on Madden, if you ask me.
That's
25 touchdowns a year, beating Randy Moss's record.
It probably would.
So Gronk's body, my body, with Wes's release, Danny's hands, and what was your skill set?
My ball skills or my run skills.
Oh, your run skills. Your ball skills.
Explosive. Run.
While running. Yeah.
Strength, lower strength.
Mm-hmm. And what about your mentality?
Mentality.
I want that too. My body. Relentless. Never give up. Always fighting for the next yard. Someone coming for my job. All right, next question.
Hi, Ashley from Kansas City.
Hello, Ashley.
My question is, I am recently single and trying to educate myself.
Jules, all these
on the
ladies
game
are
of
trying
football,
to get to you in the voicemails.
So many weird rules and lingo and stuff. So what are some buzzwords or what are some things that I can say while I'm watching a football game to potentially impress a future date? Thanks. Let me know.
I'll go first. When someone scores a touchdown, just yell, Gronk spiked that ball.
Exactly.
That'll give you tons of bonus points.
Or if there's ever a flag, just blame the ref.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what the heck's the ref doing?
Mm-hmm.
Anytime. Or just say that could have been holding.
Mm-hmm.
Just say that anytime there's a flag. That's holding. Because there's holding on every single play in NFL. What else?
When someone makes a catch, just scream first down.
Say, it looks close. Just a lot of that looks close.
If it's questionable, just yell, review the play. Review the play.
Yeah, if anything's ever questionable, just say, man, I wish they could review that play. And if they can, then it'll make you, they can, and then it'll create a conversation. But if they can't, then it'll create another, sweetheart, they can't review penalties. And then it gets you into some more conversation. And then you can judge the person on if he helps you or he doesn't help you. Done.
And then if someone kicks the football and it goes through a yellow post that looks like this, yell, it's good.
That's all you need to know.
You'll be a genius.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Julian Edelman.
And I'm Rob Gronkowski.
Sometimes you need to bring your A game when the moment strikes. And the secret, Rose Sparks.
Rose Sparks are a dual action prescription treatment designed to help give you better, more spontaneous sex.
Ooh. And they're dissolvable. Just pop one under your tongue, let it work its magic, and in 15 minutes on average, you're in the game.
That's faster than most 2-minute drills, Jules. Plus, Rose Sparks stays in the game for up to 36 hours. No, you're not stiff arming it for 2 days straight, but when the mood strikes, you're ready to score.
More confidence, more control, and more satisfaction for both you and your partner.
And Ro makes it easy too. You connect with a medical provider online, no waiting rooms, no hassle. If approved, your prescription gets shipped right to your door.
And here's the deal. If prescribed, new sexual health patients get $15 off Spark on a reoccurring plan.
Connect with a provider at ro.co/dudes to find out if prescription Rose Sparks are right for you. That's ro.co/dudes for $15 off your first order.
Now let's get into the chillest dude of the week, brought to you by our favorite beer, Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered right to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/dudes. And remember,
celebrate responsibly.
Now, once again, another wild batch of voicemails.
Keep them coming. I'm loving them. Voicemails for life.
We have one more, though. The chillest caller of the week.
Well, let's hear it.
Let's hear it.
Come on, bring it on. Bring
Yo,
it on.
what the hell is up, Jules and Gronk? Can you guys talk about some more crazy shit that like went on in the dressing room and stuff? Sick of hearing about boring ass NFL stats we all know about. You know what I'm saying, boys? All right. And can Gronk fucking shotgun a beer or something? Thanks, boys. Peace.
Oh man, there's got to be a Boston guy just bringing the juice right.
He sounded Canadian to me. Sounded a little Canadian voice. He had that. Well, it could be a hockey guy in Massachusetts.
Okay.
Do we need a beer?
Yeah, I can shotgun a beer, no doubt about that. But he's sick of hearing about our boring ass NFL stats. We don't even really talk stats, boy. We just talk about, the skill sets of players and what they bring to the table. We're just sick of your ass. How about we're sick of your voicemail, buddy? But I understand. I'm still gonna respond.
I think he was giving us kudos, Rob.
Oh, he was giving us kudos.
He was giving us kudos that everyone else talks about stats, but we give fun stories.
Oh.
And what the real stuff going on in the locker room is.
Sometimes I get confused.
It's chill.
Thank you.
Chill.
Thank you for clarifying. I like this guy now.
Yeah,
he likes our show because it's not about the NFL stats. It's about what the player brings to the table. I like this guy a lot. Sorry about the confusion, man. And for that, I'll pound this beer for you. I'll take a nice sip. Brought to you by Coors Light. It's nice and chill. It'll go down smooth. But also, I got to answer his question as well. He wants to hear shit like what went on in the dressing room and stuff. I mean, like what kind of shit do you want to hear that went on in the dressing room? Like putting that NFL jersey on is the hardest fucking thing to ever put on in the whole entire world. And sometimes that's tougher to put the freaking jersey on than actually play the game.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
You have to have like three guys pull it on you.
I'm telling you, since I've been tackled like 20 times, like in my career, like by my jersey, like, so then the equipment managers and the equipment staff's like, all right, we got to tighten up that jersey because Gronk got tackled by the jersey. So then the jersey gets tighter and tighter and smaller and smaller. I'm telling you, it takes like 3 people to put that jersey on. It's the biggest pain in the ass. You get cuts as well from the shoulder pads because it's tightening the shoulder pads up, and then you get cuts on your body. You get bruised as well putting the jersey on. It's the hardest thing to do in all of football is put that damn game day jersey on.
You can't even put this jersey on without pads. Like, put it in perspective, and then you put on some shoulder pads, and they expect us to freaking put a jersey on. But that's just another thing that people don't know. NFL jerseys, you see them, they're all tight. They're all tapered to the bodies. They're fucking hell to put on.
Yeah.
And even harder to pull off. Like, I remember I get choked out every time they pull it off because I have to have a guy pull it from behind, and there's like a 3-second, like, I'm not breathing. I got to trust that he's going to pull it off. Like, thing going. And it's like every time. It's pretty hard.
It is. It's really hard.
It's hard.
It's hard. Like a dude on wedding night. Got you there. You didn't know where I was going.
And that was the chillest dude of the week. Thanks to our favorite beer, Coors Light. Get Coors delivered straight to your house, your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/dudes and celebrate responsibly. Well, that's been another episode of Dudes on Dudes. What could we have done better next time?
Ooh, we need more voicemails. We need a lot more voicemails. And we need to give a more thorough answer to these fans out there. I think we gave a pretty good answer, but let's give even more thorough answers out there, because without the fans, there wouldn't be Dudes on Dudes. And we appreciate you fans, so we want to answer your voicemails, and we want to give you the most thorough answers that we can give.
We need thoroughness.
Yes, thoroughness, I guess. That's how we can do better.
Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Give us a 5-star rating on Spotify and comment a dude you want us to do. And remember to follow Dudes on Dudes on YouTube, Instagram, X, TikTok, and Snapchat. We will see you all next week. Dudes on Dudes is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.